what ways do you involve families and parents in your program?
Well, the first thing is I have an open door policy, and I'll have it at my center too. Always welcoming parents and letting them know that they are part of our program. They are our program, that we are a partnership in nurturing their child. So without them, we wouldn't have a business, but so I want to make sure that they are welcomed, and we form that partnership together. I put in my parent handbook that I expect them and encourage them to come and be a part of their child's day.
I think that when you have families come in, you've got to, from the very beginning, establish that dialogue with them. I think you need to let them know what to expect. I think you need to let them know that you want communication every day. You want to check in. You want to know what kind of night that child has had.
We have either parent meetings or parent socials twice a year minimum. We try to do it 4 times a year just to get all the families together to meet each other.
We have Grandparents' Day where the grandparents come. We also have a big event in the Week of the Young Child, and where we do different things. The parents come and share food, or just come and play with the kids and bring things and read stories, things like that.
We want them to know that we appreciate them and that we want that respect from them, that they can leave their child with us for the day and feel that they are being safe and loving that day.
We had all the parents go through, old toys or things that they didn't use, or some of them purchased new toys. We collected all of those and put it in a big box and delivered it to the homeless shelter for children to have, which was really great. And the feedback I got from families on that is they had their children really get involved in that. So the children felt a huge sense of giving and helping others.
I personally would like to see home visits with every family so that you can really engage them, get them ready for school.
So often parents think in order to be ready for school, the children should be sitting down doing paper pencil activities.
Right.
How do you explain to them that how important play is in their development and getting ready for kindergarten?
Well, again, I think it's education and letting them know about brain development and what's happening in those first few years and making those connections, and letting them know that if they don't have that good solid foundation, if they don't have these strong attachments, and if they've not had that loving, nurturing, caregiving experience, and they've not had the social emotional experiences, they're not going to be ready to learn those things.
How do you create a family-friendly atmosphere?
It's important to have a one-on-one with the parents. I'll meet them in the hall and I'll just say, how's things going? Anything that we can improve? But one of the biggest things that I feel is to do a parent survey.
There may be cultural differences that you need to be aware of, and so you want to respect that family's cultural background. There may be a language barrier. You need to find a way to work around that so you can still communicate with these families.
We once again use technology like Remind and Facebook to keep our parents updated on everything. Weekly newsletters or monthly newsletters.
I think ideally you would be doing assessments of the children, and you would be sharing that information with the families. You would be maintaining work samples. You would be taking anecdotal notes. You would have a portfolio. You would go over those things with the families on a regular basis.
So what types of assessments do you conduct for your program?
Well, I think we'll talk more about it, but my number one assessment valued to me is the PASS, and that's the Program Administrative Skills. This covers every area that an administrator should want their goals to meet. And also we do the teaching strategies on the children. That is an assessment on the children.
We use Teaching Strategies Gold online, which is fantastic. We just went online now. So that's a real detailed assessment of all the different domains that a child would have, and it has a really nice measurement scale.
We also are involved in the PREP program. That is very valuable. They come in once a year at children who are 3 years old and assess them to see if they have any needs before they enter kindergarten.
We also do anecdotes, so little sticky notes, We do photographic documentation, checklist documentation for the kids, and then all of that goes in a portfolio for the parents when we do our parent-teacher conference.
On the teachers, we do 2 times a year staff evaluations. I give that form to them and let them evaluate themselves before we meet to do the evaluation.
For teacher assessments, we do appraisals, performance appraisals every year. But before that, we also do what's called like a 360 appraisal. So the teacher would be evaluated by their peers and by their supervisors. And so that would be part of an evaluation.
My collaboration with the natural environment, the consultant that I've collaborated with over in England, she's actually developed a staff evaluation and a program evaluation and a outdoor environment evaluation. So we are working together in doing that.
I think a class assessment is good, where you're looking at the language and communication between the teacher and the children in the classroom. I think those are important. Of course, Itters and Eckers, you're looking at your environment. You want to see what you've got going on in there. You want to maintain that. Health and safety screeners for the outside, where you're looking, your daily playground checks. You want to make sure that you're doing all of those things to know how things are going. You're assessing your program.
We do monthly checklists such as environmental, safe and health and safety checklists. We also do the playground checklists. Aside from that, we have checklists in the morning and at night that we go through to make sure that the environment is safe and that it's up to par, or it's up to standards. Especially with our partnership with Early Head Start, it's required of us to do that frequently.
I would do a routine assessment where parents can fill out a questionnaire and talk about how they think things are going, make it anonymous so that they are completely free to say what they really think. You might have a suggestion box where they can randomly just put in something if they want to. Again, that open door policy, but I would want to be assessing the overall program. I'd be looking at the food that I'm serving. I'd be looking at the menus. I'd be looking at how the children are doing. Are the children growing? I'd be looking at just the whole picture, the environment as a whole, as well as the atmosphere, communication. There's not any aspect that I don't think needs to be regularly monitored and looked at, and looking for ways to improve.
And on myself, of course, my board does my evaluation, and I also send it out to the staff anonymously, because I want them to evaluate me and to see if I could, I might not be aware of a need that I need to work on.
The 360 evaluation currently is the only thing that I use to assess myself, and that is handed out to everybody. So it's all the employees fill it out unanimously, and then I get it back. But we also have the opportunity to have an open table discussion at our monthly meetings.
So what types of curriculum do you feel are appropriate to use in the program, and how can the director assist the teacher in this area?
We use the creative curriculum, but of course we are Bible-based. We attend a Bible-based program in Charlotte yearly, and we do use their curriculum to incorporate in our daily schedules.
We do teaching strategies, creative curriculum. We feel that that's a really appropriate curriculum because it's age appropriate, and it can be, there's individualized plans for each child, so we have an individualized program. Creative curriculum uses NC Foundations, the new creative curriculum, uses that, and it's hand in hand. So all the resources that we have for creative curriculum will specifically list all the different NC Foundation points that the child would be working on, which is wonderful because it takes the legwork out of us.
So I think you need to target each individual child's goals and then plan your day based on what goals you're trying to reach for each child, and then make whatever modifications you need so that every child is going to benefit.
It's always good for staff and myself to rely on something to help them be more creative, to help them. It shows how little activities are triggering that development in infants and toddlers.
It's more than just looking on Pinterest and finding something cute. And so I think the director is going to have to be supportive and make sure that the staff, number one, knows how to do it, has the time to do it, and then has the resources to do it.
And you need to encourage them if they have trouble filling out a monthly calendar. Give them suggestions. At our teachers, we have 2 teachers workshops a year, and that's what we work on. We focus on ideas to use throughout the year, and then I compile that and make a spreadsheet to help them with ideas for their daily schedules.